Hello friends, today we'll be studying about the descending tract. So let us take the transfer section of the spinal cord. At the center there is gray matter, which is collection of cell bodies, and outside there is white matter, which is a collection of axons. Since it is myelinated, so appears as white, whereas in the brain gray matter lies outside and white matter lies inside. So here the anterolateral sulcus and posterolateral sulcus divides the white matter into three parts, that is anterior funiculus, lateral funiculus and posterior funiculus. And these are the anterior horn, lateral horn and posterior horn are the parts of gray matter. At the center there is central canal, and this one is the posterior median septum, and this is the anterior median fissure. Now let us talk about tracts. Tracts are the collection of nerve fibers that connects two masses of gray matter within the central nervous system, that is brain and spinal cord. Tracts are also called as fasciculi and lemnisci. Tracts is divided into the ascending tract, which is the sensory system, and descending tract, that is the motor system. Descending tract is divided into the pyramidal and extrapyramidal tract. Pyramidal tract is also known as corticospinal tract, which originates from axons of pyramidal cells of cerebral cortex. And the extrapyramidal tract originates from the other than pyramidal cells. So the pyramidal cells are divided into the lateral and anterior corticospinal tract. Let us see this figure. So this is the motor area of cerebral cortex. From here the tracts pass through the posterior limb of internal capsule, midbrain, pons and medulla oblongata. And at the lower level of medulla, 80% of the fibers crosses to opposite side, which is also known as pyramidal decussation. This enters the lateral column of white matter of spinal cord and descends as lateral corticospinal tract, whereas the 20% don't cross, that is remain uncrossed, and enters into the anterior column of white matter to form anterior corticospinal tract. These fibers also cross at appropriate level to reach gray matter of opposite half of the spinal cord. From here, both of the tract synapse with anterior horn cells through internuncial neuron, also known as interneurons, and supply the respective skeletal muscles. The extrapyramidal tract is divided into the 6 tracts, and they are rubrospinal tract, medial reticulospinal tract, lateral reticulospinal tract, olivospinal tract, vestibulospinal tract, and tectospinal tract. Now we have already discussed about the pyramidal corticospinal tract, which are formed by the axons of pyramidal cells, and it courses through the posterior limb of internal capsule, midbrain, pons and medulla oblongata. And at the lower level of medulla, 80% fibers cross to opposite side, which is also known as pyramidal decussation, which enters the lateral column of white matter of spinal cord and descends as lateral corticospinal tract, whereas 20% fibers remain uncrossed and enters anterior column of white matter to form anterior corticospinal tract. These fibers also cross at appropriate level to reach gray matter of opposite half of the spinal cord. And from here, both the tracts synapse with anterior horn cells through internuncial neuron and supply the respective skeletal muscles. Extrapyramidal tracts. Number 1. Rubrospinal tract. It is formed by the axons of red nucleus present in midbrain. Its fiber crosses to opposite side in the tegmentum of the midbrain, constituting the ventral tegmental decussation. Fibers descends through pons and medulla and enters the lateral white column of the spinal cord. Number 2. Medial reticulospinal tract. It is formed by fibers from reticular formation in pons descends to cervical segment only, lies in the anterior white column of the spinal cord and has uncrushed fibers. Number 3. Lateral reticulospinal tract. It originates from the reticular formation in brainstem, descends up to thoracic segment of the spinal cord, has both crushed and uncrushed fibers. It lies in the anterolateral white column of the spinal cord. Fourth, olivospinal tract. It originates from the inferior olivary nucleus in medulla oblongata, lies in the anterolateral white column. Fifth, vestibulospinal tract. It arises from the lateral vestibular nucleus present at pontomedullary junction. It descends uncrushed, lies in the anterior white column. Sixth, tectospinal tract. It originates from the superior colliculus of midbrain. Its fiber crosses to opposite side forming dorsal tegmental decussation in the midbrain, and it lies in the anterior white column. Now here, all these descending tracts control the voluntary movements of the skeletal muscles of the body through anterior horn cells directly or through interneurons. Now here, the anterior corticospinal tract lies in the anterior of the spinal cord, and the lateral corticospinal tract lies in the lateral side of the spinal cord. Now the lateral reticulospinal tract lies in anterolateral white column of the spinal tract. Olivospinal tract lies in the anterolateral white column. Vestibulospinal tract lies in anterior white column, and tectospinal tract also lies in anterior white column.